The San Andreas Fault is a name that immediately makes us fear from catastrophic earthquakes, especially for those living in California. The San Andreas Fault is notorious for dividing California into two halves, stretching its end till Mexico. So what is so special, or would we rather say, destructive about this formation? Well, it holds the ability to divide California into two parts and completely submerge it inside water anytime. The San Andreas Fault is getting deeper and has been a spot of supervision from the scientists' end. Recently, NASA scientists have stated something dangerous. The San Andreas Fault may finally crack and cause the biggest flood ever recorded in the history of humans. So what is all the fuss about? Let us watch this video till the very end to know every tiny detail surrounding what the NASA scientists had to say about the San Andreas Fault cracking and how it would affect us. Before we begin, take a minute to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon right beside it to always find us in your home feed. Let's begin, shall we? Present in the western part of North America, the San Andreas Fault is an initial crack in the Earth's surface. It stretches from the Salton Sea in the south to Mexican land, northwards. In total, the crack formation is about 800 miles long. It passes through both coastal and inland regions, which is the major cause of concern. Even if the crack fully forms, it will completely submerge the Californian land inside water. Not just that, NASA scientists have recently revealed that the crack formation is going to be completed very soon, which may also cause the biggest ever recorded tsunami. It has been in the headlines for many years now, as it is a major cause of few of the biggest earthquakes recorded in America. This is the reason why this particular area is closely monitored by the American scientists. One question always bothers everyone: when will it fully crack? Will it cause California to slip directly into the sea? The worst part about the cracking of San Andreas Fault is this event is palpable. Scientists consider it a race against time before this unavoidable event finally gets its way out. This notorious crack has always put California under a light of danger since it was detected. It was noticed for the first time in the western part of California, reaching directly to the Pacific Ocean near San Francisco. So far, it is concluded that the cracks' formation are completely natural and are caused due to the constant tectonic movements underneath. The mantle records continuous volcanic eruptions that sometimes cause the crust to be in a dynamic state. Similarly, what makes this fault so weird is that the tectonic movement around the crack is always constant. Hence, it often leads to unavoidable earthquakes. Such a tragic event took place in 1906 that has left the Americans with the destruction. Out of several smaller earthquakes, one of the major ones took place in 1989. The suburban regions of Los Angeles experienced a much powerful and damaging earthquake due to San Andreas's larger secondary faults. Even though the cause of the earthquakes are related to the San Andreas Fault, the line did not move by itself. Rather, it helped the earthquake to resonate within the crack. Scientists from NASA believe that the fault might be hiding another disastrous earthquake underneath, which could be unleashed at any time. Well, we bet Californians must have been habituated to live with fear whenever they look at the huge fracture in the Earth's surface. As if they weren't terrified enough, the NASA scientists have recently dropped an indigestible bomb that the San Andreas Fault's southern part could give it away any time now. Yes, you heard it right. The southern end of San Andreas Fault is at a critical point, where nobody knows when it can crack open the Californian land into two pieces. When asked about a solution, Thomas, the NASA scientist, said in a press conference that they have no other solution than packing the civilian stuff, clearing nearby areas, and heading home. The fully locked and loaded region surrounding the southern crack must be vacated as soon as possible. This certainly reminds of another event that happened back in 1857. Do you remember which one? Certainly the 5.7 recorded earthquake. Scientists have been busy studying how tectonic movements occur and how underneath volcanic eruptions result in major earthquakes. Through studies, it was found out that the southern end of the San Andreas Fault hasn't moved since quite a while now. When this happens, the cracks usually tries to prevent an earthquake from expulsion. Well, even though it is nature's way of coping up against an earthquake, it is much more dangerous, as when the critical point arrives, the earthquake is liberated in a much higher dynamic. This is the similar case with the southern end of San Andreas Fault. The static state of this fault has been trying to hold in an earthquake for so many years that it could give its way out anytime soon. The worst part is, not only the southern region is the major concern, rather several smaller spots along the length too haven't moved since the 1600s. Does that mean periodic tectonic movements in such cracks are essential to record what's going on inside? Probably yes. So how is America preparing itself to fight against one of the highest ever recorded incoming earthquakes? The predicted earthquake might have a magnitude of 8 in the Richter scale, which is the highest in the list. America has faced similar blowouts in the past, so it has quite learned how to fight against such natural disasters to a certain extent. When the 1906 earthquake occurred in Los Angeles, America learned a lesson to use earthquake retrofits in every apartment and make concrete-like buildings which would never collapse. Most of these houses are earthquake-proof. Although it was suggested quite recently, the government is surprised at how fast these developments are being made. With no time, almost all houses of the nearest area have been earthquake-proofed. But here's the sad part. These modifications were made in the earthquake-prone zone in the city of Los Angeles, not in California, which is under the red line currently. So how is California preparing itself to fight against the upcoming calamity? The government is initially focusing on strengthening the telecommunication system, which may play a major role when it actually arrives. Apart from that, the houses are strengthened through metal pipes underneath the soil, which may help to hold them tight. Reports suggest that if a 7.8 magnitude earthquake will hit California, which is inevitable, it may cause over 50,000 injuries within a fraction of just 2 minutes. As soon as NASA scientists have revealed this information, the government is all in to make California an earthquake-proof zone as soon as possible. Well, do let us know in the comments down below. What do you think of the government's measures against such a huge calamity? Do you think the San Andreas Fault could crack open soon? Well, in brief, we believe it is just unfortunate on the behalf of the Californians to have the fate to live around such a huge created fault. And it's not like anything could have been done to prevent the Earth from cracking. Do you think the government should have taken initial measures to decapitate the earthquake region soon? If you liked the video, don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up. Until we see you the next time in another of our interesting videos.